Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good morning, my students in class 3A and B. Today we will start with unit 9, which is talking about matter, on 17th of March. On Tuesday, today we will start with lesson number 1, which is talking about the title, what are some physical properties. Our objective for this period is to describe some physical properties of matter. At first, can you look around you? Everywhere, everything you can see it around you is matter. But what's the matter? The matter is anything that takes up space. Anything that takes up space. What can you see around you? Can you see chair? Can you see door? Can you see water? All of these materials are matter. So it's anything that takes up space. Look at this picture here. What can you see? We can see this book, or this, you will call it science notebook, for example, and pencil. So the science notebook here is a matter. The pencil also is the matter. Your science notebook takes up space, and your pencil, it's also takes up space. But which one of these matters here takes up space more than the other one? Of course, the notebook, the science notebook, because it's bigger, it takes up more space than your pencil does. So, are all the materials, or are all the matters can take up the same space? No, not all the materials or not all the matters can take up the same space. Imagine that you are in the classroom. Imagine that you are now in your classroom in Tabuk International School. Name a piece of matter that you can see it in the room. You will tell me that you can see this desk with a chair, board, this basket, door, your books, your notebooks, your bags. All of these are matters around you in your classroom. Okay, now the next question. What words can you use to describe these items? Can you tell me about the notebook? The notebooks here, we can see different colors of notebooks. What about the board? Can you tell me the space of this board? Can you tell me which one is bigger? The teacher's table or your desk? Okay, so when you describe these items, you have to use some words. Some words like what? Like size, shape, color, texture, hardness. All of these are physical properties. We call it physical properties. So when we describe the matter, we describe it by naming its physical property. Its physical property. But what's the meaning of physical property? Physical property, it means that the characteristic of matter that you can observe or measure directly. You can observe or measure directly. Let's go back to these pictures in the classroom. Physical properties, it means that the characteristics of the matters that you can observe or measure directly. Tell me about the notebooks here. What you can observe for these notebooks? We can observe that all these notebooks have different colors. What about the board? Tell me the space. How is the space of the board? You can measure it. We can measure the space of the board. Also, we can measure the space of this desk. What about the size of the door? Which one is bigger? The size of the board or the size of the door? All of these characteristics that we can measure it directly or observe it by our five senses. By our five senses. So we can use some words that describe the size of the matter, shape, color, texture, and hardness. Then after that we will take these examples to know more about the physical properties. The number 1 is texture. What's the meaning of texture? The texture, it means that the way something feels. When you feel this sand here, what can you feel when you touch this sand here? we can feel it that the sand has a rough texture, but at first we have to remember the meaning of texture. The texture, it means that the way something feels. When you feel this something, what can we feel it? Something or some objects can be smooth or rough. So this is the question in your book, page 352. I would like to write it in your book, please, in your book, page 352. The answer is what, or before the question is, what is the texture of sand? The sand has a rough texture. Okay, now we will go back to our classroom. Can you tell me some matters have smooth texture? We said that the texture, sometimes it's smooth or rough. The rough like sand. But what about the smooth? Okay, I will give you 3 minutes or less than 3 minutes. The glass of window, right? We can see the glass of window has a smooth texture. The glass, the texture of the desk, the chair, the wall, all of these have smooth texture. Okay, so number 1, texture. The first physical properties is, again, its texture. Now the second example of physical property, it's some matters can be different colors. Look at your book also, page 352. On the beach, sometimes we can play with this ball, but write a sentence here that describes the color of the beach ball here. The ball has 6 colors. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 colors in this ball. Okay. Again, now we will go to our classroom. The classroom, we can see different colors of notebooks. Can you tell me another example in your classroom? Yes, I hear you. There is different colors of bags. Each one of you has different color of the bags, of the notebooks, pencil case, right? So the second example of physical properties is color. The third example, we will talk about hardness. The hardness describes how easily an object's shape can be changed. Can we change the shape of this object here? We can see the shovel and the shovel with the buckets here. Can we change its shape? It's hard. It's difficult to change the shape of these objects here. So it's hard. It's not soft. Again, the hardness describes how easily an object's shape can be changed. Now, this is a question in your book, page 353. I would like also to write the answer. Name a hard object you see. What can we see hard object in this picture? We can see this shovel and buckets. All of these objects are hard. Now, look at this picture here. In our classroom, we can see this basket is hard. It's difficult to change its shape. But what about the clay? Yes, the clay, it's soft. We can change its shape easily. So, this basket, it's difficult to change its shape. It has physical properties, which is physical property. It's called hardness. But the clay, it's soft. We can change its shape easily. Okay, again now. Till now we described some physical properties. Number 1 is texture. Number 2, color. Number 3, hardness. Then number 4, we will talk about size. The size is how big something is. Look at this question in your book, page 353. The size describes how big something is. Now here we have many shells with a star here, and this question is, which object is the biggest? Which one of these objects are biggest? Is the biggest. Which one takes up the most space? The sea star, of course, it's the biggest object. It's bigger than the shells here. Look at this example. Saudi Arabian coins not all the coins in Saudi Arabia have the same size, right? So some coins are smaller than the others, some coins are bigger than the others. So the coins here is an example of different size. So not all the matters have the same size. Now, to sum up our lesson again, what are some physical properties? Our lesson. The matter, the definition of matter is anything that takes up space. Anything around you that take up space, we call it matter. Anything, so many things we can see it around us in our room, it's called matter. And we can describe these matters by naming its physical properties. But what's the meaning of physical property? Physical property, it means that any characteristic of matter that you can observe it by your five senses or measure it directly. Again, the physical property, it means the characteristic that you can observe on this matter by your five senses or measure directly. Example of physical properties like what? Number one, we talked about texture, is the way something feels. When you feel this something, is it rough or smooth? This is the texture. Something like sand is rough, something like glass of the window in our classroom is smooth. This is the meaning of texture. The second physical property is hardness. Hardness describes how easily an object's shape can be changed. For example, we cannot change the shape of the basket in our classroom. It's hard, but the clay, we can change its shape easily. Number three, color. Not all the matters have the same color. Different colors we have. For example, our notebooks, our bags, different colors. Number four, the size. The size, it means how big something is. For example, the coins. Not all the coins have the same size. In your book, we have many shells. We have sea star. We said that the sea star is the biggest one. So not all the matters have the same size. Good luck.